guys, Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. In this video, we're going to talk about LEE Precision Rifle Reloading Dies. I'm going to give you the most comprehensive, most in-depth overview of the various rifle reloading dies and die sets that LEE Precision sells. Now first, why are these die sets so popular? Well, Richard Lee, who originally developed these dies and introduced them into the LEE Precision product portfolio, would always ask three questions about a new product in development. The first was, does the product do its job? The second is, can I introduce them at an affordable price point? And the third is, would I buy the product myself? Now I think we can safely guarantee that Richard's answer was yes to all three counts, and that's why we have these reloading die sets. And I would agree as well. I've bought many of these rifle reloading die sets over the years. I've used them in a lot of different applications, and they're great. There's a lot more included in these sets than you'd find in other standard sets, and they do their job really, really well. They've even set world records for long-distance precision rifle shooting in competitions. So, what I want to do is give you an overview of the different sets, show you what's inside. We'll talk about all the different dies, and then I'm going to show you how to set them all up on the press. So let's get straight to it. Well, here they all are side by side. We've got the RGB 2-die set, the Collet 2-die set, we've got the Pacesetter die sets. These come standard as a 3-die set, but in select specialty calibers come as a 2-die set. We've got the Ultimate 4-die set and the Large Series die set. This is a 50 BMG die set, which is a 2-die set from my 50 BMG reloading kit. Next, let's take a look at what's inside each of these boxes and what you get with each of these die sets. So let's start with the most basic LEE rifle die set, which is the RGB die set. Let's open this up. It's a 2-die set, and it's aimed at folks that already have a shell holder or are going to load on a progressive where you're going to use a shell plate. So it's a very basic die set that's going to do a great job, but it's a very low price point as well. So it's got the standard LEE full-length rifle die for sizing and depriming, and then it's also got the dead length bullet Cedar, which is optimized for concentricity and precision, but does not include a crimp feature. So you can always add a factory crimp die, or if you don't need to crimp, then you don't need to worry about it. So that's the RGB die set. Okay, next let's take a look at the Pacesetter 3-die set. This die set is optimized to give you everything you're going to need to do a great job full-length sizing and reloading. You've got the dipper powder measure, you've got the shell holder, and these are just really nice extras that aren't included in some of the other die sets that you'll find available. We've got, again, the standard full-length sizer. This is for 243 Winchester in this case. We've got the dead length bullet Cedar, and in this case we have the factory crimp die. So this is a great way to optimize your bullet to neck tension and to crimp the case mouth. If you have cannulared bullets, it's a great option, or if you just want to assure reliable semi-auto feeding. Now, again, this is the Pacesetter 3-die set in select specialty calibers. The difference is you're not going to get the factory crimp die, and then you're going to get a combo Cedar crimp die. So you can still do all of the basic tasks with the Pacesetter 2-die set for those specialty calibers. You're just not going to have the dead length Cedar plus the factory crimp die as separate dies. Next we have the Cadillac of standard die sets, the appropriately named Ultimate die set. So in this particular case, we have some of the other dies that we've seen, but all in one set. We've got the full-length sizer deprimer. We've got the Collet neck-only sizer deprimer. We've got the powder measure dipper. We've got the shell holder. This is a 308 die set. So you can see here we've got a number 2. That's going to work with 308, 30-06, 243, 65 Creedmoor, etc., etc. We've got the dead length bullet Cedar, which is going to give us optimum bullet to cartridge case concentricity. And then we've also got the factory crimp die. So here we have the choice between full length and neck only sizing with the full length or Collet sizer die. We've got ultra accurate bullet seating, and then we can use the factory crimp die when we want to, either for cannular bullets or when we want to slightly crimp the case mouth, even with standard bullets. Notice we've got color instructions here. I just got this die set. Okay, so you can see we've got nice full color instructions. We've got load data. The Pacesetter dies are now also going to come with color instructions. I have an example here, and I have an example here. So for 308, if we ordered the new Pacesetter set, now we have a similar color instruction sheet with a little bit more of a gloss finish than some of the older LEE rifle die sets that I've had in the past. Kind of a nice touch. So that is the ultimate 4-die set, which I really like. It still comes in an attractive price point, but it kind of is one-stop shopping for all the stuff you do, either for plinking rifles, for AR-15, for precision shooting. You can kind of do anything you need to do with this set, which leaves only one thing to cover, only one die set, and that's the large series dies. Well, here we go. These dies are always fun to look at and to use if you're used to reloading standard rifle cartridges, because I mean, just look at how mammoth these guys are. And it's hard to believe, if you look at 50 BMG reloading gear, it's not usually affordable. Well, these dies actually are. There's also a factory crimp die for 50 BMG. These are available in other chamberings as well for large rifle applications that use this 1 1/4 by 12 threading, which is pretty standard on those types of presses for 50 BMG. And yeah, so you get a setup that works really well. I know guys that use these for precision long range. They work really well. They're at a great price point. It comes with this nice holder here, this case. And yeah, so more on that later. I'm going to have more 50 BMG info here shortly. Make sure you check out those videos. So without further ado, let's set up some dies on the press. All right, for this demonstration, I'm going to use the LEE Classic Cast Iron Turret, which is a press I like. Haven't shown it on camera in a while, so I thought I would fire it up and we'll use it for this reloading session. The first step is to take one of these turret heads, put it in. We're going to feel that index. Very good. Okay, so let's set up our full-length sizer. So I need to do some reloading for my TC compass in 308, so I thought we'd use the ultimate die set in 308 here. Okay, so I'm going to take the powder measure dipper out. I'm going to grab my shell holder. We're going to grab the full-length sizer die. Might as well start there. Let's get these on the press. So first step, we're going to insert the shell holder. Setting up the full-length sizing depriming die is really easy. We're just going to screw it into the hole directly above the shell holder, run the ram to the top of the stroke, and then back the die in until we feel it hit the shell holder. We're going to go an additional 1/4 to 1/3 of a turn. I'm going to raise the ram, hold the shell holder against the die so that I can screw the lock ring in. Important note, right now we're going to want to use a case gauge or a headspace gauge on a piece of sized brass to verify our depth adjustment on this sizing die and adjust up or down accordingly. Setting up the collet sizing die for neck only sizing is very similar. I'm going to get my lock ring up towards the top there, raise the ram, and then I'm just going to crank this down until we hit the shell holder, and then we're going to go one more turn. I like to do 2 half turns for 1 full turn, and then back the lock ring in till it contacts and make adjustments accordingly. Okay, now let's set up the dead length seater. The first step is going to be to back out the seating plug. This is where I always like to start with the seating die. Back it out nice and good. And in this case, we're going to use an existing cartridge that we want to duplicate the seating depth for. We backed off the ring. We're going to turn in the die until it contacts the shell holder and then lock our ring. Okay. Now we're going to take our cartridge and put it in the die, raise the ram, and then just turn the seating plug down until it contacts the bullet. plus just a little bit. Okay, you got to tighten it down fairly snug so that it approximates the tension that's going to be going on at the end of the bullet seating cycle. Of course, you might need to make minor adjustments after you use a bullet comparator or measure the cartridge overall length. And finally, we have the LEE factory crimp die. In this case, it's a 308 die. It's got the collet. Like the other dies, this is very easy to set up. We're going to back the die in, turn it in until it hits the shell holder plus a half turn. Okay, we're going to get our lock ring locked down. We're going to take our cartridge, put a crimp on there, and then check to see what we've got. That looks too heavy in this particular case, so I'm going to back the die out just a little bit and re-crimp loads until I get just what I want. Now, if I had a cannular bullet, that would probably be perfect. In this particular case, I just barely want to kiss the case mouth with this particular die. So that's going to complete a basic 3-die setup for loading 308 Winchester. Now, what if we wanted to charge cases on the press? If we wanted to do that, we would need to add a LEE rifle charging die. Now, this is something that you can reuse for multiple calibers, and it can be used in 2 ways. When I install it on the press, I can use a funnel and pour through this funnel adapter, or I can take the funnel adapter out, and then I have a case activated rifle charging die that could be used with powder measures like the auto disc or the auto drum. It's going to activate the powder measure, dispense the powder charge, and you're off and running. You can even use the auto indexing feature on something like the LEE classic cast iron turrets. 4 pulls of the handle, and we have a nice 308 cartridge. So that's all there is. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't want to miss any of the action on ultimatereloader.com, please subscribe to my channel. Until then, happy shooting and happy reloading.